Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Equilinox. In the last episode, we unlocked some of the most adorable sparrows that I have ever seen. Now we have tons of birds fluttering through the skies in the Mew Meadows. We have white sparrows over here that we're actually hoping to turn into doves in the future. And we have our normal sparrows way over on the other side of the world, with all of our other birds too. I guess the birds have pretty much just taken over this chunk of land. But I almost forgot, right after the end of the last episode, we actually had another mutation in our ducks. So now we have these purple ducks, I guess? And needless to say, this one is definitely the one that we are going to selective breed. I guess it's more of a magenta hue, but it does remind me of the birch trees that we have way up in our magic forest. So our game really seems to prefer the color purple for some reason, but I'm not complaining. It has to be one of my favorite colors in this game so far. So as our ducks go and waddle around the lakes, as our birds soar through the skies, we're going to turn our attentions to the jungles in this episode. We haven't spent any time building any jungle biomes yet, but I believe we have a few different plants at our disposal now, and we definitely have a lot of tasks to complete for the jungle as well. I think this was one of the ones we unlocked in the last episode. We just need to have 20 jungle grass in the world and 5 jungle plants too. So why don't we go ahead and get started on that one first? You guys mentioned that maybe the jungle would be a good place for us to set up by this big lake. So I think we're going to try maybe over here. I'm hoping that it's not going to be too high of an elevation. I'm not sure what sorts of things these plants like just yet. But let's go ahead and select what lives in the jungle. That would probably be the best way for us to find these plants. So there's our jungle grass, and it's actually quite a bit more expensive than the regular grasses. I'm sure it's going to spread just as quickly though, so let's just make sure that we have exactly the requirements that it needs. This long grass is the most basic jungle plant in Equilinox. It can be used to provide the basis of a jungle ecosystem. So as far as its habitat goes, we can place it in barren land and it should be able to take over just fine. So let's make sure that this is, a very, very suitable land for it, at least so far. So we'll go ahead and plant our very first grass seed right over by the water, I guess. We could probably spread it up the mountain a little bit too, and maybe down in the nooks and crannies over in the valleys, just in case some of these plants need a lower elevation. These 3 tiny little seeds are going to be the start of this entire biome. And while they're spreading, let's go ahead and read up a little bit more about the other plants here too. So I know that we can unlock the jungle mushroom as well, and we probably just need to take a closer look at the button mushroom in order to do so. So is the jungle mushroom in this list? Yeah, we just need to place the button mushroom inside the jungle, of course. So as soon as these start growing a little bit more, we'll go ahead and plop some mushrooms right in the middle of it all. It looks like tulips can also grow here. Water lilies, so I guess it's a good thing that we're so close to the lake. The yucca plant can be used, the jungle flower, the tropical flower, and all sorts of pretty interesting trees on top of it. So I think we needed this jungle plant, right? I assumed that meant any type of plant that could be grown in the jungle, but maybe they actually mean that we can only use the jungle plant for that. Yeah, that must be what that means. So I guess we have to unlock this next, and it evolves from the jungle grass. So what are you guys looking for next? Well, that'll be easy. We just need some jungle rocks, and I'm almost positive that we did unlock that in the last episode too. Yes, there they are. So they're just like our regular rocks, but with some moss on top, so they'll blend in really well with all of the jungle foliage. And the good news is we don't have any trees over here yet, so nobody to get too cranky about the presence of our stones. That should be plenty, so any one of these little jungle grass tops should be enough for us to start evolving our jungle plants. And it looks like this place is coming along quite nicely too. It's always harder to see when it's dark in the world like this, but I can definitely tell that the ground is starting to turn a more fertile color. So I guess pretty soon we can start looking off to some of the other types of plants as well. Maybe while that's evolving, we should even start growing some water ecosystems nearby. I think all we really need to get it to take root is some seaweed and some kelp. So we'll go ahead and drop a few pieces here and there. Ooh, that's right. I think the kelp actually needs some stones. So why don't we go ahead and drop some jungle rocks into the water too? I'm sure that those will end up working the same. There we go, looks like our plant is done evolving. So before I end up forgetting, we're just going to go ahead and drop some of that kelp right in the water. That way this will have plenty of time to spread in the meantime. And now let's see what our jungle plant looks like. Ooh, it has a little flower on top. Although we can change that into tons of different colors then. Ooh, they have some bright colors as their natural colors this time, but I would expect nothing less from the jungle. A medium-sized jungle plant with the large leaves and a colorful flower. The flower comes in various different colors. This plant can only live in rocky jungle areas, so that explains why we need to place down all of those jungle rocks first. And it looks like it needs a pretty low altitude too. That was what I was concerned about. So where are we at right now? Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't realize we were that low. Alright, so they're just talking about like the highest peaks, way up here where the snow is. Yeah, of course we wouldn't be able to grow our jungle up there. I guess there was nothing for us to worry about after all. So let's go ahead and pick up our little plant and drop it down right in between all of our grass tufts, and right in between all of our rocks too. Yeah, it looks like this is the perfect environment for it, and I'm sure that it's going to spread in no time. We might just want to place a little bit more jungle grass on the outskirts, because this place is kind of contained in this little area right now. I definitely want to make sure that it's spreading to different places. Oh no, we don't have enough points. Oh, that jungle grass is so expensive. Guess we have to be a little bit more mindful of the price tag. Well, thankfully, with all of the diverse species that we have inside our world right now, we're gaining quite a few of the discovery points every time a minute ticks by. So while we're waiting to regain a little bit of our points, let's make sure that everybody's doing okay out here. Ooh, our purple ducks are spreading. Pretty soon they're going to take over just like all of our purple chickens, or blue chickens rather. And as you can see... Oh no, Dave! Dave, the very excited chicken, is just about at the end of his lifespan, but his chicken army is larger than ever before, so he can rest easy now. I don't think the chickens had too many special options as far as selective breeding goes, but one of the ones that I do remember seeing was the speed option. I mean, they are blue chickens, so maybe we should make sure that they can go fast. It seems only right to make sure that they have a little speed buff. It won't be much because we don't have too many points to our name at the moment. Oh, maybe it will be actually. We can go 15% with 11,000 DP. That's not that bad at all. 15% faster than the average chicken. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? The only thing I can imagine is that these chickens are actually going to be like eating this wheat faster than it can grow. So maybe we'll have to see if they end up starving themselves out here. We'll keep a close eye on the chickens. Now, how about our jungle plants? Are they done growing yet? Oh, there we go. That was awfully timely. That was the quest that I was looking for. So that means 5 of our jungle plants have grown now, and of course we have plenty of the jungle grass too. And that's even going to give us a few more discovery points to make up for the cost. And the pine tree too, apparently. So we've unlocked the mighty jungle task with that one. That must be on the next page. Breed some of the higher tiered jungle species and add them to your jungle biome to create a dense jungle. This would be a perfect place for some insects to live. So we need 5 ficus trees, 5 jungle flowers, 5 jungle mushrooms. Ooh, and that'll unlock us the butterfly? I don't think we actually have any insects in our world yet. That's interesting. I wonder if maybe that's how we get the honey too, if we can unlock some sort of bees or something, and we know that our ducks love to eat honey as well as the water plants. So maybe this is a step in the right direction. Well, now that we have so much fertile ground around here to work with, this is probably a good opportunity for us to place down our button mushrooms. Ooh, did they like trees? Was that one of their preferred species? Yeah, we have to make sure that we have some trees around here first. So since we just unlocked the vine tree, let's see if this'll work. A leafy jungle tree with vines hanging from it. This is the most basic of jungle trees and the smallest too. It can grow in any jungle area as long as there are rocks nearby. That seems to be a pretty common theme amongst all of these jungle plants. It needs large rocks though, so hopefully these count as large rocks. Ooh, and it even provides nesting spots for birds. That means we could actually place some sparrows over here too. And I bet that would even get us one step closer to the toucan. Yep, it looks like this place is going to be pretty suited. So let's go ahead and plop it down right here. Right in the middle of our little jungle biome so far. We should probably wait for it to grow a bit bigger before we place the sparrows in though. And I just noticed. Yeah, did you hear that? Oh my gosh, there's like a different ambient noise to this area. Oh, it sounds just like a jungle. That is so cool. You can hear the bugs buzzing, the birds squawking. I swear, this game surprises me like every step of the way. There's so many little details hidden in here. I wonder if there's actually different noises compared to like the different forests too. There's this one with all of our boar. No special noises there, but it might be because it's past their bedtime. Alright, so we have our jungle tree growing. That means that our button mushroom should be much happier here now. Whoops. Oh, did the autosave just knock me like right out of the menu? Ooh, and now we have another mutation. This one is for one of the tall trees, so off by the forest. Ooh, and is it purple? Oh my gosh, that might be the same color as our magic forest. And the same color as our little duck wings too. Seriously, I don't know why this world has chosen this color as its favorite, but I am liking it. Pretty soon the Mew Meadows are just going to be covered in purple plants from sky to sea. Alright, so as long as the mushrooms like the area that they're growing in, I think we should be able to start growing some jungle mushrooms with them right away. Let's use this one that we just placed down. Yep, the jungle mushroom is already set to go, so that should evolve in no time. We also have the red mushroom to make here and the tropical mushroom too, which we learned also likes to grow in the jungle. And I believe that's all part of one of the tasks in here. That's actually been around for a while. It was one of the very first tasks that we unlocked in the beginning of the game. I guess it would be pretty fitting for us to finish this thing off as we're building this jungle. Jungle seemed like there would be a pretty good place to house plenty of unique mushrooms. We have a few more points to work with too, so I think what I'm going to do is place just a couple more of these grass tufts on the outskirts. I like how this area looks very fertile now, but we have to make sure that we're increasing the range of their territory. Now it looks like our jungle mushroom is almost done evolving, so let's go ahead and speed it along. There we go. Some nice little blue mushrooms this time. Those are pretty cute. I'm sure they're going to be fine right here. This is our jungle, so I can't imagine they would be... Oh no, the altitude! Oh no, where did we go wrong? They need a preferred altitude of over 15 meters. So that means we do need to start spreading our jungle a little bit higher after all. So honestly, that would be just about here. We could probably transplant this thing to make it happy. Here you go, little guy. I hope this place isn't going to be too barren for you, but I think it said that it can survive in the barren landscape as well. Yeah, so this might actually be a good way for us to keep spreading the jungle further. Well, I'm sure now it's going to be able to spread quite easily. Yep, it looks like our little jungle mushrooms are already taking off like wildfire. So pretty soon the hills will be full of life too. Oh, and that reminds me, I was going to place some sparrows in here to build some nests in our tiny little trees. Do you see any more vine trees popping up? It doesn't look like any saplings have spread yet, but I'm sure it's just a matter of time, right? This place was extremely suited to the vine tree, and it just got even bigger. Yeah, there's plenty of branches in there. I'm sure a little sparrow could probably make this their home. Ooh, hang on a second. Maybe it does need the grasslands nearby? Maybe it's not suited to the jungles after all? Yeah, grasslands, forests, and woodlands. Well, we don't want the grasslands taking over this place, but maybe just having a few plants inside would be enough to keep the sparrows happy. I mean, I would imagine that we probably have to have the sparrows in here somewhere if we want those toucans, right? What does it say inside their evolution tree? We need canopy trees nearby? Do we grow those from the vine trees by any chance? Ooh, the ficus trees. We needed those for one of the tasks too. And we just need to have them grow a little bit bigger. Alright, well, might as well set that up as soon as we have the chance. We'll go into our selective breeding menu and just knock that up by a couple of %. And now the grass tufts. If this doesn't work, then we can always just remove these, I guess. And since they are some of the cheapest items in the entire game, we're not wasting too much by experimenting with them. We'll just place a few of these normal grass tufts right around this main tree. And now let's see what these sparrows think of it. Yeah, the suitable biome is still really, really low, but it is starting to get better. But then again, the environment says that it's going to be at 70%. So even though it's not exactly a suitable biome, do you think it would still be okay? I don't know, I think we're going to risk it. Let's see what these little sparrows think of this place. Maybe they can even find a way to adapt to this new environment. Yeah, to be honest, I think they're going to be okay. As long as they have their preferred species around, and of course as long as they have something to eat around here too. It seems like that's a pretty sure bet to make sure that our animals will survive. We've only had a couple of really big issues so far, regarding our ducks of course, which completely passed away the first time we placed them in here. But they're getting along just fine now. Oh no, did we lose that special color? I think this duck might have it. No, it looks like it's brown. Oh, I forgot to selective breed them the last time we were here. So we may have lost our purple ducks. I mean, I guess there's always the chance that one of them could still be tucked away in an egg somewhere, so we'll still come back and check. But at least we still have our purple trees, right? Yeah, looks like this thing is fully grown now. It's kind of a lighter color than our birch trees, I guess. More of a pinkish hue. We better make sure that we selective breed this thing right away. We are not going to let these things die off either. I guess it's an extension of the magic forest in a way, so that's pretty cool. And as you guys can see, I did actually give our sheep a little bit more color to their wool. So now Admiral's family is getting along pretty nicely. They have that frigid cyan tint to them now. It's still not completely all the way up to the top, but it's definitely getting closer. It's a lot harder to see on our gold sheep, I'm afraid. They still look kind of brown. And who keeps starving out here? Somebody keeps getting hungry? Oh no, it's you, little duck? Maybe that's what happened to all of our special duck colors. Well, you should be close enough to the water's edge to waddle on down and get a snack. I wonder if maybe it hatched too far away from the water? Yeah, we're gonna have to see if we can get some honey set up for our ducks pretty soon. I guess the sooner we can unlock those butterflies in the jungle, the better. I think I saw a sparrow flying. Yes, it looks like it grew up. Oh, and you are right at home here, aren't you? Now it makes sense that we can hear birds chattering in the trees. The vine trees seem to take a little bit longer to grow than some of our other tree species, so I think it's going to be a while yet before we can grow the ficus tree. So let's go back to the task. We still needed the jungle flower for the task too. Let's see what it takes to unlock the jungle flower then. From the jungle grass, that's right. That's where I saw that before. So the jungle flower just needs more stones? Okay. Maybe the jungle rocks don't count for the stones then? Let's go ahead and sort it by just stones, and we'll see what we can use. Tiny stones this time, maybe right at the water's edge. We could even go ahead and place a few inside too, since they seem to help their ecosystems thrive. And now we should be able to evolve the jungle flower. Go ahead and set that into motion. Did our sparrow build a little nest for itself yet? Yeah, I think I do see one. Oh, and our very first vine tree. The first new life born in the jungle. It's a pretty easy life right now. It's not like there's very much out here for our sparrows to compete with. There's certainly no predators out here at least. You know, we still haven't unlocked any predators to place into the world, which is probably all well and good because there are so many different species that we have to complete. But we can unlock bears, wolves. I think there was also a fox on here somewhere. And in fact, why don't we go ahead and sort the animals by what lives inside the jungles, just to see what we can expect in the future. Warthogs, I remember seeing those from the wild boar, so maybe we could try to move some boar into the jungle too. Lizards, frogs, butterflies, toads, toucans of course, and beavers as well. That one's the last on the list, so I would imagine it's probably pretty hard for us to evolve. The stars probably show what tier of creature it is, just like how we have different tiers for the plants in our ecosystems as well. Yeah, the seaweed is a tier 1 plant, and the kelp is a tier 2 plant, because I believe we evolved it straight from the seaweed itself. So that's pretty cool. It kind of shows how complex each species is. It looks like our grass tuft is just about ready now. Let's go ahead and push it along that final way. There we go, our jungle flower is ready to place into the world. It looks like this one has tiny little blue blossoms, so before we go any further, let's make sure we read about this one. We don't want to have the same mistake that we made with the jungle mushrooms. So the jungle flowers are gorgeous. A patch of large blue flowers that grow well in the jungle. These flowers prefer to grow in jungle areas that are closer to water. Insects like the butterfly enjoy feeding from the large blooms. Oh, excellent. So the game kind of placed it in like the perfect location. I'm glad you guys told me to place the jungle this close to the water. It does like to be in some lower altitudes too, which definitely makes sense. So let's just place our little flowers right here for now. It looks like we can't go wrong with this place. So with the jungle flowers spreading, I think we're just down to the ficus trees now. I guess we could go ahead and check up on all of our little saplings. Maybe one of these will be ready to use? Yes, it looks like these are big enough, or this one is at least. So let's go ahead and start evolving this straight away. It is pretty expensive, but luckily we have just enough points. And I'd imagine that means it's probably going to take a while to evolve too. Just gotta be patient with this one. So while we're waiting, let's go back and make sure that all of our special colored trees are spreading well. It looks like there's some tiny little purple saplings from our tall trees. And there is plenty of space for you guys to take over. We have so many tall trees in this valley down here. I think they were some of the most basic trees for the woodland biome, so it's no surprise that they've grown so well. Ooh, and are our chickens nice and speedy now? Are any of them moving faster than the others? Honestly, some of them seem to be moving along pretty well. This one has a speed of 2. That one has a speed of 2. So maybe it worked a little bit? Oh yeah, this one's the fastest so far, 2.4. Interesting. Still a little bit of work to do to be the fastest chickens in all the land, but we'll go ahead and selective breed the fastest ones to help them along. Oh my gosh, do my eyes deceive me? Or do we actually have the purple ducks after all? Is every single one of these little ducks a purple one? That is so strange. I swear we didn't have a single purple duck before. Well, the magic lives on, I guess, even way over here by the riverbed. And I just saw the notification. It looks like our ficus tree should be ready to place down inside our jungle. Oh my gosh, and look how quickly all these flowers spread. So once the ficus tree does take root, it should be pretty easy for us to complete that last task. So the ficus tree is a small, thin, viney tree that grows in the jungle. This leafy green tree is covered in vines and can grow in any jungle biome. Alright, so it sounds like it's not going to be too difficult to keep this thing happy. So we might as well just plop this thing down right in between all of our other trees, and I'm sure it's going to be nice and happy. Now, can these offer a place to build nests? It doesn't look like there are too many branches here. Yeah, it doesn't have any special abilities, so I guess our sparrows are going to have to keep to the vine trees. But we have plenty of them around here so far, so I think they're still going to be nice and happy. Well, our ficus tree is growing. I'm going to let these spread naturally, because I'm sure they're going to be quite expensive for us to place down. And that means in the next episode, we should be done with the mighty jungle task, and we'll have our butterflies to play with too. So the jungle is looking pretty small right now, but it is clearly thriving. So hopefully soon we can set up some more diverse animal species to make this place feel even more unique. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!